everyone, today I want to talk about 5-2 fasting and why it's still relevant. I've gotten some interesting comments on some of my videos about don't try 5-2 fasting, what are you doing, you're wasting your time, instead you need to go full-blown fasting and just fast and fast and fast and fast and fast and fast for days on end until you lose all of the weight that you want to lose, and you shouldn't be wasting your time with 5-2 fasting. Okay, so people need to take a chill pill and realize that 5-2 fasting is still very important. Why? Because it's a way to get into it. It's a way to ease into the idea of fasting. And are you going to lose more weight if you fast for 5 days straight? Yes, of course you're going to do that, but that's not the issue. The issue is that we need to get people understanding that they don't have to, and in fact they shouldn't be eating 5 or 6 meals a day or eating throughout the entire day. You know, you don't have to be constantly fed in order to be living an optimal life. And in fact, the research shows that the opposite is true. You're constantly tapping that insulin. You're triggering that insulin over and over and over again. And your insulin is your storage hormone. That's not going to be good for you. So this idea that you have to be constantly fed is ridiculous, and it's not doing you any favors. And if anything, it's sabotaging your progress. So, I mean, if you had to be constantly fed, then you die in the middle of your sleep, you know? We're not meant to be eating constantly. We have adapted as a human race to be fed, like feasting and fasting, feasting and fasting, feasting and fasting. And this is not the same thing as having an eating disorder, okay? I'm not talking about people who have an eating disorder. That's a completely separate issue, and it's psychological and psychiatric in nature. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like biologically how we are meant to function. So there's nothing wrong with feasting and fasting, but we have lost the fasting component of what we are supposed to be doing. And so instead, we're just feasting, constantly triggering insulin, the storage hormone, and we are just storing. That's all we're doing. At some point, you need to get rid of that. So 5-2 fasting is absolutely critical for people to start getting used to the idea of fasting and how beneficial it can be for you. And will you plateau? Yes, you will plateau. Why? Because you will plateau on anything. You will plateau on every diet that you try. This is a guarantee. It doesn't mean that the diet isn't working. The issue is that you have to be changing it up and constantly mixing it up and seeing what works right for you, and that's really important. Experiment on yourself. That's what I did. But just because you plateau doesn't mean it's not working. It just means that you have to change it up a little bit. So with me, 5-2 was working for a while until I plateaued, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this still working? And instead of getting rid of 5-2, I gave myself a 30-day challenge to do nothing but whole food, plant-based, and I was true to that, like no breads or anything like that. And I mean, in that 30-day challenge, that plus my 5-2, I got down to my goal weight. Now, I'm not saying that will happen for you all. It depends on how much you have to lose, but that was the swift kick in the butt that I needed. And it was only 30 days, and it was fine. I've been at that goal for a really long time, and I'm working on my next goal, and I did that without exercise. No exercise whatsoever. So I'm working on my next goal, which is going to incorporate some exercise, but still, you can do this. You can absolutely do this, and 5-2 can be a tool to help you all out. So I hope that puts to bed some of the criticisms of 5-2, and I'm certainly not going to, like, if people say, oh, don't do it, I'm just going to delete those comments because it's not going to be helpful for people who really do need to try it. And this channel is meant to be supportive, so please give this video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it so much. Also, I am starting nutrition coaching. If you want somebody who is science-based, and I have my certificate in plant-based nutrition through Cornell, I'm happy to help you out. Leave me a comment below, or you can email me. I'm going to have my email address in the description box below. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.